Good morning, welcome to this Phoenix Blue morning update for Wednesday the 19th of October. I'm Tom Colley and I'll take you through the news and the markets this morning. Starting with the news, we had CPI from the pound coming in ahead of forecast at 1%. Not wholly unexpected, bearing in mind the fall in the value of the pound since the Brexit vote. Canadian manufacturing sales came in really strongly at 0.9% against a forecast of 0.3, up from 0.1 last month. So really some significant numbers there. Out of the US, we saw CPI coming in on forecast and core CPI down a point at 0.1% versus 0.2%. And in the short term, we saw a sort of circa 40 pip reaction in the market to that shortfall, but that was soon recovered. We also had the price index, the dairy price index from New Zealand coming in ahead of the previous figures on a positive number. And then overnight we have had the gross domestic product and industrial production for China. Certainly the GDP is a figure that's been watched closely, and I've read this morning that that's perceived as a good number. However, industrial production is down there against the forecast and against the previous. Going in today, we have quite a lot of news. We have the claimant count and the average earnings index for the pound. US building permits not so critical. Then we have the Bank of Canada with their rate statement and monetary policy report and the rate itself. We'll obviously be keeping a close eye on this event. Expectation is for forecast is for a hold of the rates at 0.5%. The Canadian economy seems to be doing a little better. It's starting to see some recovery with the recovery of the oil price, and currently oil sits above $50. Then 3:30 out of the US, we have the crude oil inventories. This always has an effect on the level of oil, or the price of oil today. We are expecting a reduction in the stock holdings to 2.2 million barrels. We had 4.9 million barrels last week. Therefore, those stocks are contracting, which is perceived as good for oil. So if we get to our forecast or below our forecast, that will be positive for the value of oil. Then later on, we've got the Bank of Canada press conference, which will be obviously commenting on how they came to the rate decision earlier in the afternoon. And then at 9:15, the Governor of the Bank of Canada, Pauls, is speaking as well. So a lot of Canadian news through this afternoon and this evening. So if you are in that market, be aware of that. And then overnight, we've got an employment change and unemployment rate for the Aussie coming out before we speak to you again in the morning. We also have at 2 a.m. tomorrow morning, we've got the third and final US presidential debate between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. The press appear to be giving the election almost to Hillary Clinton, now based on the bad press that Trump's been having over the last few weeks. On the first debate, we saw the fact that Clinton did well in the debate, was seen to have won it, having a positive effect on the dollar. The second debate was seen as a draw, and we didn't see much reaction whatsoever. So, however this plays out might have an effect certainly on the dollar, and the knock-on to all the other majors and minors on the other side of that. Okay, here's the US dollar index. Well, we've been talking all week about a correction on the US dollar. We're anticipating it rising to about 98.50 before falling back. Yesterday it had a look down. It looked as if it might break to the downside. It didn't do so. It's still holding ahead of this short-term trend line here, but we do seem to have a cap on the level at this moment in time, so we'll be looking for this to break one way or the other today, or through the remainder of the week. Euro very much the same. We're down at a level. We're holding at a level. We've got a short-term trend line here. We've got a descending triangle forming to that point, which, if it plays out as expected, would be a break to a lower level in conjunction with that break to maybe around 98.50 on the dollar index before we see the potential correction that we're expecting. JPY, US dollar JPY, the yen. Well, again, we've had a short-term trend line here that price has been holding above. It looks overnight, and if you look at this on a shorter time frame, it looks that price has broken below the support of this trend line. It's indecisive at the moment, but certainly we could potentially see that indicating price coming back to the downside. And we've got a couple of levels that we're looking to trade, but we'll be looking to trade them in conjunction with similar or corresponding levels on the dollar index. The Swissy, probably don't need to show you this, but very much the same. We're now clearly seeing this market, it looks somewhat like a range. We've got it's sitting above, again, a short-term trend line, and as you can see in all these markets, I'm looking for a break of the trend line to indicate that we are getting that correction on the dollar. We are, however, as I said, anticipating price rising higher. Before that happens, as you can see, there's a key level here, and I've got an order placed on the Swissy to take that trade to the short side as and when, or should it happen. Again, we'll be waiting to see for a break of that trend line in conjunction with the dollar. New Zealand US dollar, similar scenario. We've had a pullback to a level. These markets are pulling, well, this market and the Aussie are pulling back much more strongly than the euro and the Swissy and the yen. They're being driven by strength in their own currency as opposed to exclusively weakness on the dollar. We've got a nice level here yesterday. There was a time up until the dairy price index came out as a positive number that it looked as if we were going to get a reaction at this level and we were going to get a move to the downside. Those dairy prices came through with a positive number, and then that reversed the price action. We are looking at all these trades at this moment in time, with the exception of that Swissy trade I've just shown you, as price action trades because we are waiting for to everything to coincide with the dollar move. So there's still potential for this to the downside, but we'll be looking through the day for a change in cyclicity on a lower time frame in order for us to get into this market to the short side. Here is Aussie US dollar, similar scenario, though we didn't obviously have the dairy price index on this market. You can see I am actually short this market. I'm just managed to stay in the market. It virtually hit my stop, came within a pip or two there, but we can still see that there has been a rejection of that level. There is a higher level. This dashed trend line here is a longer term trend line, but I took this order yesterday on the basis of that's a nice shorter term trend line at a level through here with a price action reversal. It's so far needs to break that level to come to the short side, but certainly there will be I'll be looking, if that does now fail, I'll still be looking to take this to the downside on price action from a higher level. Gold, we had a breakout of this consolidation. We saw that breakout happening overnight stroke early morning yesterday. We spoke about it yesterday, which played through. We've got a nice close above our level. We're looking for a pullback now to this significant level here in order to take it to the long side, and we're targeting around 1300 on that trade. Silver's set up very, very similarly. which is not to be unexpected. We have a market cap limit order here, but I will also be looking to potentially trade silver as well, but I'll be looking to do that as price action in order to not have too much risk in the market on any particular movement. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Today is our 4-hour free trading event in London. You are too late for this event, obviously, but we do it on a monthly basis. If you'd like to come and find out in more detail how we trade, how we analyse the charts, how we use fundamentals, technicals, and the commitment of traders analysis and seasonality in order to set up our high probability trading positions, please go to the website, go through the contacts page or the events page and tell us you want to be advised of future events. Or if you email info@phoenixblue.co.uk, you could speak to one of the guys and set up a meeting or a telephone call, whatever you want, to talk about how coming on board with Phoenix Blue may be able to take your trading to the next level. Okay, guys, so thank you for listening. An early one this morning because of the protege group meeting that starts at 7 o'clock this morning. So have a great day's trading. If you're coming to one of the meetings today, have a great day there, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you. Thank you, and we'll speak to you in the morning.